That's just one coat. So white primer makes all the difference. And the cover's good. Hello again, everyone. This is my 60-inch finish mower. Done a previous video on it about when I first got it, and I done a little bit of work on it. Had to unfreeze the PTO shaft, and we put some new tires and wheels on, and put this neck guard on. And I've used it 3 times now, mowing the field, and no issues. It's working great. So I thought, well, if you're gonna keep it and you're gonna use it, let's put some fresh John Deere green paint on it. I got this from my brother, and he had painted it when he first bought the mower. I'm assuming this is John Deere green paint that he put on it. It's probably just faded. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna freshen it up. So I'm gonna pull it outside and clean it up, and we'll see if we need to do any rust repair. Don't think it's got a lot of rust to contend with. Just some surface rust, as you can see on the arms and on the cover over the gearbox. But we'll see. We'll get it out, clean it up, and go from there. Now, I do have a spray gun. I painted the '66 Mustang. Got several videos out about it, but I'm not going to use a spray gun. I'm just going to brush it on. And this is, Rust-Oleum makes this. It's John Deere green. And I've used this to touch up some spots on my zero turn. So let me show you that. Here's a Z930. I have a fence around the property when I mow the grass, and after a period of time you go to scraping the edge of the deck and the paint will get scratched, get rubbed off. I touched this up last night with just that Rust-Oleum and a brush. The way this turned out, I'm just going to paint the finish mower with a brush too. One advantage with painting with a brush, you can put it on pretty thick. That paint, that should last a while when I'm mowing under the fence, hopefully. Also painted the bush hog back in 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5. It's been a while. But I painted it with a brush, and it's still holding up well. I've used this bush hog in some pretty rough spots down on the wooded 19, and you can see the paint still looks pretty good on it. A little rubbed off there at the bottom edge, but otherwise it's held up good. I'm gonna take this guard off before I pull it outside. Just remove this roll pin that was in the shaft. There's our spring there that keeps it closed. All right, put our roll pin back in. So set that aside. All right, we're going to leave it raised up off the ground just a little, where both the belt guards are off. So So we'll get all this loose grass out. And then we'll get the hose down here and get this cleaned off. And after blowing it off with the air hose, we're ready for some soapy water. We have a little rust over here. We'll scrape that off with a putty knife and then do some sanding on top of that. And this is just surface rust here. So, but next thing I'm going to take this cover off. Covers the gearbox. Well, I'll start painting on the covers. Now, yeah, you can see my brush strokes. I think you can see them. But I think what I'm going to do, once this dries enough to where it's a little bit tacky, not quite dry, I'm going to go back and go this direction with my brush. That should smooth it out. Just finish these and the one over the gearbox. Just using I think that's a 1-inch brush, yep. Don't know that I have enough paint to do the whole mower, but I think I'm gonna go over and get started and we'll try and see how far this goes. And if not, I'll have to go buy another quart. Well, I can't believe it, but I had enough paint to paint everything. There's about a fourth of that quart left when I started. I used it all. Now, you notice I didn't paint under here because the cover hides all of that anyway. But we got everything that shows painted. I think we do. We'll know when we get the covers put back on. And there may be enough left in the bottom that I can do some touch up if I have to. Now, if we're painting this John Deere, I see I missed right there. Need to redo that. If we're painting this John Deere green, we got to have yellow wheels. So once all of this dries and I don't have to worry about getting paint all over me, I'll pull those wheels off. Paint the centers yellow. We'll just spray paint them. All right, got the wheels pulled off. Wheels and tires. I've got them cleaned off, but I'm gonna get some, we'll try to take painter's tape, cover the tire up. We won't get much on the tire. We can wipe it off with the paint thinner, but I'd rather not get any on it if I don't have to. And I'm gonna scuff these just a little, some fine sandpaper. And then I think we're gonna paint them white first, because painting yellow over the top of this black, it's gonna take a lot to cover. And if we just put a coat of white on it, it'll cover really easy then. And I just remembered I have some primer. This is Rust-Oleum, same brand as the paint I bought. We'll primer it with this and then put the yellow on top of that. There's the paint I'm using. It is implement paint and says JD Yellow. Change of plan. Instead of using masking tape, just scrap cardboard, I'm going to cut the wheel diameter out of it and just lay it on there. And that should keep most of the paint off the tire, and we can wipe off what does get on it. I think that's going to work. That's just one coat, so white primer makes all the difference. And the cover's good. Got our spacer. Bolt goes on this side because we have that welded piece that the head of the bolt butts up against, like that, where you can tighten the bolt. All right, tires and wheels back on. Pretty close match on the tractor wheels. To not be original John Deere paint, I'm pretty impressed with that. A little touch up to do. The only place that's found is right here on this guard on both sides. I think everything else looks okay. Well, if this had been a 72-inch deck, I definitely wouldn't have had enough paint. I used practically every drop. One last thing. Hey, if you painted John Deere green and you got John Deere yellow wheels, you got to put a John Deere decal. Thanks for watching. See you next time. We hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you did, how about giving us a like and subscribe to our channel? Thanks.